Allison Rosen. Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison, with her good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison Rosen, Allison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another very exciting episode of Allison Rosen is your new best friend. I am sitting here in Pod Cabin with my guest, whom I am delighted to introduce to the show. She is a comedian and author. She has written for Hacks, Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Modern Family, SNL, Larry Sanders Show, multiple Academy Awards. She also has a very successful stand-up career, and she has written numerous books, and her latest is How to Write a Funny Speech for a Wedding, Bar Mitzvah, Graduation, and Every Other Event You Didn't Want to Go to in the First Place. Please put your hands together for Carol Leifer.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take your seats. Thank you.
The crowd is going nuts for you. They've wanted you on the show for a long time.
Yeah.
And here you are.
Do it. Yes.
Yes. Hello. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and also joining us, Tony Thaxton.
Hello. Everyone's in their seats. No one's even making noise.
I know. You guys, I said Tony Thaxton. You're not even going to give yourself applause?
No, I can't. I just
You're
can't.
too humble.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to really earn it, you know?
Yeah. All right. So there's so much to talk to you about, but let's start with the book because I love this book.
Thank you.
I sat down and I read it in like 2 sittings. Mm-hmm. I could have done 1 sitting, except that I'm an antsy person.
You know what? When we did that on purpose, because when you write a book about writing a speech, the last thing you want is a tome that's going to take people forever to read. We wanted to make it friendly so that you'll know right away the steps, because they're not that complicated. So I'm glad you got through it quickly, because that was our point.
Well, great job on that.
Thank you.
Very readable, relatable, funny. Of course, in my mind, I was going back and I'm like trying to remember speeches I've given at weddings. And I'm like, I think I remembered to introduce myself at the beginning. Such a good point.
Yes.
Tony, I feel like you're egregious with this. I'm just kidding. No, actually, I'm egregious with it because I always forget to introduce you. But Carol and co-author Rick Mitchell make the point that you need to establish how you know the bride and groom or whoever you're giving a speech for at the beginning, because otherwise everyone's distracted because it's like a Dateline episode for them.
Yes, it happens all the time too. People get up there and they start speaking, and what's really sad about it is sometimes it's a really great speech, but the whole time you're not really concentrating, because you're like, is this his brother? Is this a relative? Is this, someone from Neighborhood Watch? I don't know.
Right.
So you really need to tell people. But that's one of the basics that we wanted to impart to people, because there are just some basics that people don't realize with speeches. The biggest one being going too long.
Yes. Keep it 5 minutes or under.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you're sitting there. We've all been in the situation. Your phone has already updated twice and you're dying. It's like, get to it. And another thing people don't realize with speeches is you're usually not the only person that's been asked to speak. Mm-hmm. So it is a bit of a parade of people. So that's another reason to keep it tight.
Right. What made you guys want to write a book about writing speeches?
It's funny. It's a funny genesis. So Rick Mitchell, it's a funny way how we met. I love TMZ. I watch the show every day.
You mention is it in the book that you mentioned it? No. I saw it on your Instagram.
Yes.
That you watch it every day. The East Coast feed.
Yes, exactly. I get it right when it's white hot. And Rick was one of the guys in the bullpen. Mm-hmm. And his jokes were always so funny and great. And I'm a fan of people. I'm a fan of yours. I'm a fan of a lot of people, just because it's just in my nature. It's one of the reasons I got into show business. So I was at Sunset and Laurel, which people from out of town will know. It was kind of a hot spot area. And I saw Rick outside, because that's where I didn't know TMZ was located. Mm-hmm. And I was 2 floors up on outside on a balcony. I yelled down, Rick, hey you, Rick. And he looked up And as somebody in comedy, he knew me. I was happy about that. I said, come down and meet me. And I told him, I said, oh my God, you're so funny on TMZ. You are just so great and you make me laugh. And he was very complimented. And then about a year later, we became friends and he said, I have a packet. They're looking for writers for Ellen's talk show.
He was he EP there?
No, he was a writer.
Okay.
But what happened was he said, do you know anybody there, from the world of business? It always helps. And I know Mary Connolly, who used to be on Letterman, and I just sent her an email saying, this guy's going to send you a packet of jokes. He's so funny. He got hired. He won 5 Emmys as a result. So, cut to, still friends. He's got a great job. We met for coffee during the writer's strike because we couldn't write on our shows. I had just come back from a wedding where the father of the bride gave such a deathly speech. When it's the talk of the valet line, when you leave, it's really bad. And he had just been to an event where the best man gave a horrible speech. Mm-hmm. So sitting there, knowing also that we couldn't write on our TV shows, it was like, it's not that hard. And the books that are out there about speech reading are from like Horace Winthrop, like people you've never heard of.
The Toastmasters. I don't even know what that is. I just heard of it.
So we felt like we've got an edge here being comedy writers and we can give people step-by-step easy ways to do it. So that was the genesis. We did it as a public service.
That's what I was going to say. It's kind of for the speechwriter, but also for the audience to save them from painful speeches.
Exactly.
So question, how do you know, I feel like roasts have become so popular.
Yes.
So like, what's your opinion on how far you can go? A family story that I was not alive for this. However, my dad's father gave a speech at my parents' wedding.
Okay.
And supposedly the gist of it was like, John is such a fuck up. His whole life, he's been such a fuck up. But the one thing he did right was meet Shelley.
Right.
But he was hurt by it. And then my mom's best friend mentioned it recently that she also on his behalf was hurt. So I think that he
goes
really
that far back.
Yeah, I mean, he really must have my grandfather really must have gone too far in it.
Yes. Well, what we talk about in the book, which is super important, because that feels bad that many years later that someone remembers it and how hurtful it was.
All the key players in this story are dead, by the way, except the best friend who still remembers.
Okay. Good to know. We really encourage people when you have a speech, 2 things. Read the room. Is it your fraternity brothers? Go nuts, right? All bars, nothing, no restrictions. But usually a wedding, there's sometimes kids. It's a mixed audience. So you kind of want to play it safe. But if you have a joke or something like that you are unsure about, run it by somebody who's close to you, who'll probably be at the event. Because I've had so many friends say, it just happened at a wedding this past weekend where the twin brother of who was getting married gave a speech. And he said he had something he wasn't sure about. He ran it by the dad, and the dad was like, no, do not do it. And I said, what was it? He was like, I don't even want to say it now. So it's really good to run it by somebody. Mm-hmm. I spoke at my cousin's celebration of life. He sadly passed away from cancer at 55. And I wanted to say, because he was such a party person, I went to his wife and I said, do you mind if I say during my speech, for someone who was in recovery, he partied like nobody I've ever seen. Because also recovery, I mean, is that something everybody knew?
Yeah. Sobriety, right?
Yes. And she was like, oh, go for it. People are going to love it. But had I done that and not run it by her, and it was like, oh, people didn't know that he was sober, that would have been a big mistake. Mm-hmm. So it's important to know beforehand, run it by a couple people, that can give you some feedback.
Really good advice.
Yeah.
And so are you someone who writes speeches for people a lot?
I do two things. One is, since the book is out, if people want to reach out to me directly, Carol at carolleifer.com, I'm happy to help people personally with their speeches. I just had that, this guy reached out to me. He was getting married, and he sent me a draft of his speech, which was pretty good, but we went over it, and I feel like I made some good changes, and we talked about it. And also a lot of it was, are you comfortable saying this? What about saying this? And I just got an email from him that he said it went over great. And he's going to send me the video of it. So I like to help people with their speeches, but another reason I felt qualified to write the book is I'm hired a lot to give speeches for organizations, a lot of Jewish groups, any kind of corporate situation. So I practiced in giving speeches, and I love giving speeches too. A lot of times, because it's expressing my feelings to a group really feels good to me and very cathartic. When someone asks you to give a speech at their event, you have a great bond. So sharing that bond with everybody there always makes me feel great, and should make people feel great when they give the speech. That's why if you have a speech that you do that goes south and it's up on YouTube, it's important now to be able to do a good speech, because, the internet follows
Forever.
everything. So, to answer your question, the short version is I love giving speeches. I really do.
Can you say more about how you love expressing yourself to a group of people? Like,
Yeah.
I'm interested in that. Like, I love expressing myself in this forum or in writing. Giving speeches or even stand up or live shows or things like that don't scratch the itch for me in the same way that I know it does. I know it does for other people.
Yeah, it has to be in your blood. Look, I'm a stand-up. Most people's greatest fear is talking in front of large groups of people. Most comedians' greatest fear is not talking in front of large groups of people. So we love being in front of people. And as I mentioned before, it feels good to me to talk to a community of people. Usually the person who's asked you to give a speech, you love that person. So I love getting up there and sharing that love with everyone there. Also getting laughs. I won't, I won't be false here. Yeah, I like getting the laughs too. But it's great when you get up there and you share something about that person that everybody knows or that people didn't know. One thing we encourage people to do is to talk about how you met this person, because it's usually a very good story and comes out of nowhere. My best friend since 5th grade spoke at my 50th birthday party. And she told this story of how we met, which was she would see me in the lunchroom every day. And I brought my bologna sandwich from home. And then they sold ice cream. How things have changed in schools. And I would buy my ice cream pop and right at the beginning of the meal. So one day she just comes over to me, 10 years old. She's like, excuse me, I just happened to notice that you eat your sandwich and you buy your ice cream like right up front. Have you ever thought about buying your ice cream when you're done with your sandwich so it's not sitting there and all melty? And I was like, oh my God, what a good idea.
Revelation.
And people really laughed at it because I do have an absent-minded kind of side, like a little bit clueless. And people really laughed at it. And it was a great story because people love to know how people met.
Yeah, those little details that only come from real life.
Yes.
Which is interesting that dovetails into what I've heard you talk about writing for Seinfeld and Curb, that so much of it came from your real life. So many of the ideas, or even like with the Marble Rye, like a friend's story.
Yes. Yeah. And I encourage, well, not only women writers, because we have a different filter on the world with our personal stories, But Seinfeld and even Curb, where I worked, the personal stories in a speech are gold, and the personal stories for writing sitcoms, I was lucky enough, are gold as well. Like, for example, with Seinfeld, I know that a man would not have pitched this storyline. Elaine thinks the Korean manicurists are talking about her behind her back in Korean, because this happened to me every time I got a manicure at my place in New York City. So stories like that. Elaine thinks there are skinny mirrors at the department store. Now, I know a guy wouldn't have pitched this, because every woman who's listened to this knows what a skinny mirror is and loves them. And the guys on staff, nobody knew what a skinny mirror was. So things from real life are always great because they're unique. They're the things that kind of happen to you that you wouldn't think about.
Mm-hmm. I have a story that a friend of mine told me so long ago, and it always stuck in my head as like, this needs to go in a show or something.
Yeah.
He was invited to a baby shower. Was it a baby shower or was it a little girl's like first birthday? I don't know. It was like something, gifts for a baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
And he was single, didn't know what to get, somehow got it in his head that he should get her a copy of Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret.
Uh-huh.
And he gave the book, which is not appropriate for a baby, you know. It's like such a preteen book, or a teenager, you know, and it just like went over like a lead balloon.
Oh my God.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I loved that like miscalculation.
Right. That's funny. Like a onesie wouldn't have worked in that situation.
Right. I know.
Yeah. That happened to me at a bridal shower one time. It was given by a very raunchy friend. So I thought, go to the sex shop and buy something funny, that kind of thing. And as people were opening the gifts, it was like, oh, a coffee maker. Oh, a set of saucers. It was like, oh my God, I wanted to get my gift out of there as soon as possible.
Was it like a ball gag? Like, what did you get?
It was something that the sex shop worker thought would be a good idea. It's this many years ago, but it was probably some type of dildo. Or something. Yeah. But same thing. And then I wanted to grab that gift back out of the pile. But I just tried to cover it with like, isn't that funny? Yeah, I know you guys got those gifts, but I got this gift. Isn't that funny? It did not work.
Do you, apologies to everyone that I must wedge this into every episode. Do you happen to watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
I don't.
Okay. Table the question.
Okay.
There's a sex act. Clearly, I'm not tabling it. There's a sex act referred to in one of the episodes that involves like Fruity Pebbles, and it's something that all these Mormon women are like scandalized to hear about, and no one can figure out what it is. Like, I've gone on Reddit, I've been trying, and I did a little Instagram story about it, and many of my friends are like, can you figure out what it is? We can't figure out what it. So anyway, if anyone knows, but in a non-pervy way, please write in and let me know, what was the sex act that involved Fruity Pebbles? Thank you.
See, now that would have been a great Seinfeld idea or a great Curb idea, trying to figure out what the sex act was. That's great. That's built in.
So, at what point did you join Seinfeld compared to when it started?
I joined season 5.
Okay.
And I was there through season 7.
Okay.
So it still was on the cusp of being a hit, but not fully.
Right.
Not like I'm taking credit at all.
I mean, it does seem to coincide, right?
Well, look,
coincidence.
Yeah.
Not coincidence.
The show was all Larry, David, and Jerry, and we were cogs in the wheel of their brilliance. But when I started, it had just begun to pick up.
Because there's a story making the rounds right now, I think from Larry Charles' memoir, about Julia Louis-Dreyfus going in tears and saying to Jerry and Larry, I believe that's who she said it to, you're not writing for Elaine, or you're not writing stories for me, or for, I don't know if it was stories for women or I think it was you're not giving Elaine stories. And so they started giving her, they would be like, this is a George storyline, let's give it to her.
That's interesting. I hadn't heard that And I'm anxious to read Larry Charles's book because he was so great. And he was there for a year when I was there. So I can't really say because I'd never heard that.
Right.
But I do know a lot of people assume, and doing my press round for my book. So you were there to write for Elaine. No, we were there to write for every character. People assume like, oh, your Spongeworthy episode was so good. You had to have written that because you're a woman. It was like, no, that was Peter Millman. We all had different ideas, but still, I feel as a woman, I did have an advantage with coming up with, it wasn't just Elaine stories. I mean, George brings a deaf woman with him to a party to lip read his ex-girlfriend's lips to find out why she broke up with him. I mean, that's not a female idea.
Right.
But they were very, I think, ahead of the curve in giving. She wasn't just the girly pal. She was an equal with those guys. Even with the contest episode about who was going to break their masturbate, who's going to masturbate first. Elaine was, right in there. It wasn't like she was on the sidelines monitoring it. She was in it.
Whose idea was that episode?
Larry David. Yeah.
That's hilarious. You write for Hacks as well.
I have, yes.
Or you have?
Yeah.
Which season did you write on? Or
last season, season 3.
Okay. I love that show.
Me too.
I love that show.
It is a great show. And again, all glory to the 3 showrunners because it is their baby and their brilliance.
But I was wondering, since Jean Smart was not a stand-up, you are accomplished stand-up, have performed in Vegas, all of that. Like, has your personal experience made its way into that show?
Well, one thing to say about Jean Smart, and I thought this before I joined the staff, actors normally don't make it playing a stand-up. There's little tells where you can watch them and be like, that doesn't feel right. I haven't seen that. She's the only actress.
Mrs. Maisel.
Jean is the only actress that I've seen on camera who completely sells being a stand-up. So I just really, right from the start, it was easy to see her as a stand-up because she presents herself so well that way. And in that way, it was really, other shows and movies have tried it. There was a movie called Punchline. Right? That starred Tom Hanks and
Sally Field.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that comedians backstage had lockers. I was like, what? I never saw a locker in my green rooms. So the authenticity of it was always, really compelling to me and made me really want to watch the show and be right on it.
Right. So are there particular storylines on Hacks that can be traced to you, or is it more collaborative, like a punch-up kind of thing?
It's more collaborative. The episode I wrote with another writer, Carolyn Lipka, one of the storylines, they're walking through, they're hiking and they get lost. And one of the storylines was, when you get to be my age, and I've been around for so long, I still have dreams. I still think about, I'd love to have a little part in a Broadway show. I'd love to maybe learn how to play mahjong if it's not too difficult. And when you get to be my age, you do start to think, well, one day is now. And you got to make those dreams happen because it's right in front of you. So in that regard, I feel like that idea was explored well in the show. So, and that's something that only a writer my age is going to kind of tap into because younger writers don't have the mindset that I do of being an older person.
Do you think how do you think of the Deborah-Ava relationship? Like, is it mother-daughter? Is it mentor? I don't know. Like, do you compare it to anything?
It's so many things. And I think that's what the creators have masterfully played out on the show. I think it's all those things. It's mentor, mentee. It's competitors. It's current versus old school.
Right.
It's many different things. And I think, but at the bottom of it, there's always this bond that I don't even think each character can figure out or put their finger on it. And I think that's what's one of the main interesting things and people why they take to it about the show.
So I know you went to SUNY Binghamton, right?
I did.
When did you get into comedy?
Well, I was going to SUNY Binghamton. I think now it's just called Harper College. And I was in a theater group with Paul Reiser, who was then my boyfriend. And we were always in funny shows. It wasn't a drama club. And Paul was the one who told me about these comedy clubs that were springing up in Manhattan. And he had already been on stage doing open mic nights, which is crazy because he was, 18, 19 at the time. I mean, why they didn't card him, I still don't know. But he said, that'd be fun. I said, oh, that sounds like it was fun. So I did it as a lark my sophomore year. And then I went back to these clubs with Paul my junior year summer. And lo and behold, I was put through the audition, and the MC that night was Jerry Seinfeld. And when I went through the audition at Catch a Rising Star, another club at the time, Larry David was the MC. So,
is that how you met them?
Yes, I go back to day one. So I had done 3 years at SUNY B, and I wanted to pursue this career in comedy. I'd passed the audition, and I went to my folks and I said, I'd like to pursue this. Of course, my Jewish parents. I was like, I'm going to finish college. I'll transfer. It was either Stony Brook or Queens College. I'm so glad I picked Queens College.
Why?
Well, it was easier. I used to do a joke about it in my act. Queens College, very difficult. You need a pen to get in. Yeah. So it was easy for me to do that during the day, and at night pursue becoming a comic. So I've been doing it, since I'm 21 years old, which is crazy. So that's when I got into it.
What was your early material like? Or what was it about?
It wasn't, when I look back on it, and I still have a, cassette of that, it wasn't terrible. That's the other thing that relates to speeches. When you go on open mic nights, the audience is not expecting you. The bar is set pretty low. They're not expecting you to be Jerry Seinfeld. So if you go up and you're halfway good, you'll get a good reaction. Something we also say in our How to Write a Funny Speech book, people are so intimidated about giving speeches. Just people remembering that the bar is low, that people are not expecting you even really to hit it out of the park, that should relieve some tension. So my first 5 minutes, it wasn't bad. I was doing jokes like, there was a bank at the time called the First Woman's Bank of New York. Woman's Bank, it's the only bank where once a month you lose interest. I could maybe do that today. It's a little bit but yeah, my first 5 minutes wasn't bad. But to get to be a good stand-up, you have to fall on your face a lot. People are always like, did you ever bomb? Like, yeah, all the time. And anybody who's good that you see out there bombed a lot. And that's really how you get good. There's so many factors that are not under your control. Same thing, relating it to the speech book. If people, the audience is drunk in a comedy club, or you go on late at a wedding and people are hammered, you've really got to walk a fine line and be aware of who your crowd is. People heckling you, that can throw you off really bad. But the nice thing about another misconception I find, and people ask me about my stand-up, is they're like, oh, were you allowed in the boys' club? Were the guys really,
Did they give you a locker in that green room?
Exactly. Dirty sweat socks. Men were really encouraging to me and really looked at me, the experienced comics, like a little sister. And I had one experience that, thank God, a guy came over to me and helped me with this advice, because a woman could not have given it to me. Being so young, going on stage, if I saw young guys, a group of young guys coming in together to the comedy club, I knew that's the group that's going to give me a hard time. That's the group that's going to heckle me. And 9 times out of 10, they did. They gave me a hard time. So I had just done a show, young guys in the audience heckling me mercilessly, came off stage. I was at the bar, and a male comic came over to me. He said, yeah, I see you having trouble with these young guys, okay? And as a guy, I get it. They got to, prove how macho they are or whatever. A woman on stage is threatening. I have a way, if you're open, to shutting it down. I was like, please. And he said, when guys give you a hard time, all you have to say to them is, so where are the guys? Where are the girls tonight? Where are the dates? And then that just came back on them like an embarrassment. And I'd go on. Are they parking the car? They're going to come in a little bit. So a guy helped me see the Achilles heel that I was not aware of. And God, to this day, I still use it with, a few guys who heckle me, because you have to know what the weak points are
right
when someone gives you a hard time. So, I forgot your question, Allison.
Oh, I was so engaged in the story, I also forgot what it was. Well, you know what? That's lost to the sands of time.
Yeah, it's your podcast. You can go in.
What you said that's one of the misconceptions, is that they let you into. What are some of the other misconceptions?
I think people are like, did you have a tough time getting booked?
Like as a woman?
Yeah, I didn't. I think is another advantage, like comedy writing. For being a woman, there was an element of, we'd like to hear the female point of view about things. I was very influenced by a woman comic named Elaine Boozler.
Oh, yeah.
And mostly because she was really a pioneer in that she bridged the gap between Joan Rivers, who was brilliant, and I have a story about her that I can tell you of what a wonderful person she was. But Joan Rivers, her act was a lot of, at the time, popular, am I right, ladies? Kind of separating the women in the audience. And Elaine Boozler was the first woman I'd ever seen who just talked about her life as a single woman, young, dating in Manhattan. And her point of view was not, am I right, ladies? It's like, am I right, everybody? So when I saw her, 'cause she was on the cover of New York Magazine, I remember thinking, wow, if she can do it, and she was of my generation, she was only 3 years older, I think I can do it too.
It being not only doing like, quote, comedy for women, kind of like just being yourself.
Yeah, being a woman comic whose point of view is different, but not separating the audience when you go on stage, because that is a bit of, I didn't want to do that type of comedy. I didn't think that was me. Yeah.
Your Joan Rivers story?
Oh, yeah. Joan Rivers, what a lovely person. May her memory be a blessing. So I was doing a corporate gig, and there's another misconception. People assume, like when I was in the midst of my stand-up career, you go and you have an entourage and a hair and makeup person, a manager, agent. It's usually, to this day, just you. The agent books it, but they're at home. So I went to this corporate gig, and I get there, and the only thing that's in your contract as a stand-up is you need a mic on a stand, maybe a stool, and a spotlight. That's it. So I get to this gig and there's a mic and the stool, but there's no spotlight. So I go over to the tech guy and I'm like, excuse me, I'm Carol, I'm a comedian. I just happen to notice that there's no spotlight. There's going to be a dark room. A comedian needs spotlight for focus and for the audience seeing you. And he looks at me like, spotlight? Oh, sorry, Cher. You don't have your spotlight. And I was like, whatever, this is not going well. So Joan Rivers, they booked her to just do a few minutes and bring me on. So great. Joan gets to the gig. She says hello to me. She looks at the stage. She goes, where's the spotlight? And I go, talk to this guy. She berated this guy. Not only berated him, but when she went on stage, said, I'm up here with no spotlight. Can you see me? And you give Carol Leifer all the attention and more because she's working with a handicap of this place not having a spot. She went on and on. And it really showed me what a generous performer she was. She could have been like, oh, no spotlight. I'm doing a few minutes. Who cares? She really took it into her own hands. And looking back on her career, I'm not surprised because she didn't take crap from anybody. And also that she was kind enough for me as a name that didn't have quite the ring that hers did at the time of being generous like that.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
So she didn't take crap from anybody. Do you take crap from people?
That's a really good question, Allison. Look, I've been doing this is crazy, for almost 50 years. And I'm really, when I think about it, I think it's really astounding to be in the business that long. So I feel like I kind of tread both sides. I always feel like I like to be as nice to people, treat people like they would treat me. And I like to stay pretty firm about that because being kind gets you a long way, I think, in any business and the podcast business, any business. But at the same time, I am pretty tough in terms of if people, mostly if people promise something and then it doesn't come through and they don't
acknowledge
it. I always make people acknowledge it. Always, I had a very important platform say to me, oh, when your book comes out, we're going to put you all over it. And, contact the guy, never returns my text.
Oh, that would be crazy.
I'll phone, doesn't return it. And then I always run into them again. And I always say, you promised me the world. And I got to say, it was so disappointing that you never came through. I mean, I don't do it yelling and screaming, but I try to do it as a person, of like, I think that was really crappy. And I want to tell you, even if you won't acknowledge it, that I think that was really not right. Because I like to acknowledge when I promise somebody something. It's another thing I learned from Larry David, I feel, and is very old school in show business of it's hard to give people bad news, but you got to do it a lot of times. And I'm sure you've been in that situation as well.
Well, I always think about it with like an agent conveying a rejection. God, because I'm not great at giving. I mean, I'll do it, but like it doesn't roll off my tongue,
Yeah.
And I think like that's a job where you're constantly giving bad news.
Yes, but it's important because you don't want to dance around something,
right?
And people appreciate that.
The older I get, the more I appreciate it.
Yes.
When I recognize when someone just said something that was like that was a hard thing to say, but it was needed.
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and like I did a stand-up gig. And I thought it went well, and then they didn't book me again. And I asked the agent, why aren't they booking me back? I thought I did well. And instead of going, oh, I don't know, she went, did you have a little thing with somebody there? And I looked back and I was like, you know what? I think I did. And I guess it came off a little harsher than I expected. And, I lost more gigs with them. But the fact that she was honest and gave the feedback that they gave about me.
Like a little conflict or something? Or disagreement?
Yeah. I thought I had a throat infection and I made this person take me to a throat doctor. And once I got there, I got a weird vibe about it. I was like, oh, can you take me back to the hotel? It was just not done well on my part. But I wouldn't have known that. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, that doesn't scream anything to me. But...
Yeah. No, it just wasn't. I guess I was in a crappy mood and I took it out on her. So I just appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
Of stuff like that.
Speaking of honesty, you have opinions about people hiding their age in Hollywood, right?
No. Opinion of who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you say more about that?
Yeah. I always feel like women are like, oh, I don't want to say how old I am, or they lie about their age. You know, I have a book whose title is When You Lie About Your Age, The Terrorists Win. I'm proud to tell you. I mean, in 2 weeks, I'm going to turn 69 years old. I mean, that's crazy. And what I thought of what a 69-year-old would be, I'm not that person. So I feel it's important, especially for women, to share their age, because you never become kind of the old bat you think you're going to be. And I think that's important for other women to hear, even, women in show business. I mean, I'm still doing it, knock wood, at this age, and have been. And I think that's an important lesson learned. I mean, if I came on here and I said, I'm 51, I'm really happy with how everything's going, why? It just, be yourself. There's nothing better than being yourself.
Yeah. It's interesting. I always tend to be honest. I just turned 50. I'm honest about my age. And my whole thing is like honesty. But it's funny that this guy is coming up now again. The same friend who had the Are You There? God, It's Me, Margaret, is a successful TV and movie writer. And he told me that he didn't want people to know his age. This was probably like 15 years ago.
Wow.
Because, so a successful, was he very successful? I think he was sort of in between things at that time. But since became very successful, but he felt like they'll start not considering you for things as a writer if they think you're too old.
There is some wisdom to that. And there is still ageism. What frustrates me is there's so much diversity and emphasis on diversity.
Right. Why doesn't it include age?
Exactly. Yeah. No, it doesn't. And it should change. The good news is that there are older actors out there now who are looking for writers, luckily, such as myself, who can speak to them. Like I'm just developing a show for Valerie Bertinelli.
Oh, cool.
Who's amazing. Lovely in person. When you meet them, you never know. She's a gem. And the idea is about two people in their 50s. And, a date. I've never seen a romance on TV of older people. I mean, Golden Bachelor, reality show, which is, whatever. But, so as an older person herself, being around a long time, was looking for a writer who could speak her experience and her voice. And now I'm working on something for Amy Brenneman and Annie Potts, who are also both veteran actresses, who also were looking for someone older to give them voice.
Right.
So there is that advantage. But yes, there is a lot of ageism, and I just try my best to fight it every day.
Do you watch And Just Like That?
Yes, I do.
So I am not caught up. My husband and I we watched that. Are you caught up on the show?
No.
Okay.
We're a couple episodes behind, but I will have to say I'm impressed that your husband watches it with you, because it's a very girly show to me.
It is.
Yeah.
But we both are like, oh, Carrie and Aiden, God, I can't stand them together. We recently watched the episode where she goes to Virginia.
I just watched that too.
That is sort of, I think it's supposed, people are saying that's like about older people older people's well, they're a little older people's relationships. But then I've also seen a lot of people who are not enjoying this season and who are saying that like they don't act like, I think Sandra Bernhard posted this, like they don't act or speak like any human being. So it's not super realistic.
That's funny. Well, I'll say this as a fan, and Michael Patrick King, who is the creator of And Just Like That and the showrunner and director.
And Sex and the City, yeah.
Yeah. I came up with him. He's brilliant. But just speaking as a fan of the show, and I do watch it, but my wife and I do watch every episode. We need to catch up. What is bumping me this season is Carrie is such a great character, and I've always felt like she doesn't take any crap from men.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, you let your boyfriend go down to Virginia where you're not going to be with him?
Indefinitely.
Yeah. It just, like I said, as a fan, because I don't want to impugn the show at all because it is great. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
And
maybe that's why people are having such a reaction. Like it just feels like an off note.
Yeah. And this episode, spoiler alert, where she goes down, it doesn't go well with his family. And she's like, I'll wait for you back in New York. I totally thought, and my wife did too, that she was going to say, you know what? This isn't working.
That's
for
what everyone
me.
wants. And they keep introducing, well, again, I'm not caught up either, but it seems like they keep introducing men that she meets, like this downstairs neighbor that she suddenly has, where I think, oh, maybe they are going to introduce another love interest.
I hope so.
Yeah,
because
they're getting my hopes up.
Carrie and that guy, a younger guy, yeah, I would love to see that. I hope they're doing that.
Tony, do you watch this show at all?
I have not seen it, no.
Have you watched Sex and the City?
I have seen it at least, but yeah,
Opinions?
I didn't watch it regularly. I don't think I've seen enough to really give a fair opinion.
All right, that's very diplomatic, isn't it? All right.
Well, it was also 20-something years ago that I
Yes.
probably saw it. Yeah,
I know.
And it really holds up.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best written shows ever. Look, working on Seinfeld, I feel like so grateful. Lightning in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Sex and the City, another lightning in the bottle with the writing mixed with this cast that to assemble these women, each of them on their own could have had a great show. So it really is a classic.
I still and just like that, I still get excited if Carrie's like texting with Samantha, and then I have to remind myself like it's not real. Like Kim Cattrall is not really sending that text.
She's not on the show.
I know, but I want her to be. Okay, one more question, and then we're moving on to Just Me or Everyone. But what was the difference between writing for Seinfeld and writing for Curb?
Really, it was a different organization in terms of how they organized the show. Seinfeld, you came in and you pitched ideas to Larry and Jerry, and things from real life, as we talked about, really, he had a bit of a leg up. So I'd go in, one of them was, Elaine is a beard for a gay man. Yeah, this is what's so lovely about 30 years later is, gay men are out at work. It doesn't matter. But I had a friend at the time who was in banking, and he got invited to the Hollywood Bowl to see something. And he said, would you go along with me as my, quote, date? I was like, Hollywood Bowl? Yeah, I'll be there. So we had a great time. And that became a story on Seinfeld. So you'd pitch it like with that story. Then I'd go back. I'd probably write a draft. Larry and Jerry would go through it, maybe fix this, move this, write another draft. Then they would do the last draft, and then we'd tape it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Curb was same thing, pitching ideas to Larry that he would either like or not like, and even smaller ideas, like as we were talking about. When you talk with someone, especially one of the suits, and they go, you pitch an idea and they go, you know what? I don't love it. And you're sitting there and you want to say, so you don't like it. And they'll go, nah, I don't love it. that was an expression Larry responded to and put into the show. But what was different was once you pitched the ideas, he and the co-showrunner, Jeff Schaffer, who is also a writer on Seinfeld, go and outline the whole season, which the writers are not there for. And then he would bring us back when they shot the show just to be on set, which is so much fun, and throw lines in to give them to Susie or whatever character. And he loved having the writers on set. So it was very different in terms of Seinfeld. You were there from step one to the end of it. And with Curb, I was just, besides pitching in the office a day or two, I would just come back for the shoot.
So you're not actually writing scripts or anything, so it was improvised,
No.
right?
Yes. Yeah. Giving them story ideas that they would develop into an outline. And then the actors, they shoot it.
And then with the actors, was it like they would like in this scene, here's what needs to be accomplished,
Yes,
kind of?
exactly.
However you get there.
Yeah. And also throw some lines in of possible lines. But they were such a well-oiled machine, that cast. They could just, here's what happens, take it and go. And sometimes working there, I thought, all shows should be like this. But then in retrospect, I would think about it. It's like, you got to have, not every, bunch of actors can do that, that well, like they did. And especially doing it for so many years, they had a comfort level with each other and a comedic, banter that I think your average, throwing new people together, you couldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do just me or everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
All right. Carol, do you have one?
I do have one. And Allison, I really want you to know that this is hard for me to admit.
Okay.
On the air, on your podcast. But I'm with another woman and Tony. Tony's here. But you know what? I'm going to reveal this. I'm so into weight. I'm a member of Weight Watchers, a lifetime member. I've been for 13 years.
That means you can go to meetings for free, right?
I use the app. I go in once a month to get weighed. Can't be over 2 pounds, what you were before.
Boot out. Always
been into my weight. And every day I write down how much I weigh.
That's not just you.
Day. That's not just me. Okay.
You. No.
See, now I feel a lot better about making that revelation on your pod.
See? It's healing.
Yeah, it is.
If you go on vacation, do you do this too?
No, I don't do it on vacation because I don't have my scale. I have a girlfriend who brings, I swear, her scale with her on vacation.
Wow.
More so for the, are you kidding, carrying that?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. But I'm glad to hear that that's not just me, because I feel like there was this show, I forgot, Reese Witherspoon was in, and she played this anal compulsive, really uptight person. And every day she wrote down how much she weighed. And I was like, oh my God, that's me.
I mean, does it torment you?
It doesn't torment me as much as I like to look good. Looking good is important to me. And especially as you get older, it's harder to kind of rein it in. So in that way, it's important to me because I don't feel good when I get over a certain point. It doesn't feel good. So most of it is, I want to feel good.
Right. And I think it has to do with your relationship with the scale, because I know there's a lot of people who are like, I threw my scale out in 1982 and I never look back. And when I go to the doctor's office, I turn around and all of that stuff. And I think that wouldn't work. I'm more of a weigh myself frequently kind of person, except for if I'm going through a phase where I'm not going to weigh myself frequently. But if I'm doing that, it's because I'm trying to avoid something,
Yes.
So for me, it works better to weigh myself more frequently but then I guess there are people for whom it's better to throw it out in 1982. I don't know. But
Yeah.
no, it's definitely not just you.
Well, that's another thing that we used in Hacks that came from my experience. I don't know if you remember in that episode I was talking about with the hiking. At the beginning, Deborah goes in for a physical. She needs that to run a late night show. And they say, get on the scale. And she takes off everything.
Yes.
Jewelry, everything. And then finally her wig. So I certainly could relate to that, going to Weight Watchers every month.
I have one, which is whenever someone posts a photo of a dog, I go, like, oh no. Is this the announcement that the dog has passed?
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm always relieved when it's just a happy picture of a dog
Just a
or
happy
something.
picture.
Yeah.
Right, instead of the rainbow bridge.
Exactly. Similarly, I, a while ago, was like, I'm not getting enough engagement on Instagram. And any post I do with a celebrity, like I really seem to get a lot in there. And I had a picture of me with John Hamm from when I had done, I think it was 12 Days of Christmas, a Doug Benson show. Yeah. So I posted that. And all the comments were like, oh no, what happened? What did I miss? Oh no. Like everyone thought, I was like, by the way, when someone dies, I don't typically post a photo of me with them, even if I might have one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, unless it was someone really close to me or something, you know?
Yeah.
But, but anyway, everyone assumed that I was breaking bad news about John Hamm. And I was like, no, I'm just really trying to get some likes here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I don't know this yet, between putting something on the grid or making it a story.
Yeah, so the story goes away after 24 hours.
Okay.
People are much more cavalier with their stories. And then grid is a little more intentional. I am not really more intentional, which I think has not served me for Instagram. But yeah, the grid is supposed to be like, this one is,
important.
permanent.
Oh, okay. Then I got to do more stories. I put them all up on the grid.
I think that's fine too. I think that's good. Do you do any stories?
No.
Oh. They're fun.
Yeah.
I think they're fun. That's like, I typically
How do
do
you
stories.
see the comments? You can see the comments.
Oh, well, no, they're not. There's not comments on stories. People just DM you.
I see.
My thing, listen, that's breaking announcement, everyone. I have a request. If I post something, instead of, I love the interaction, but instead of the DMs, if you have a comment about an episode or something, just put it as a comment.
Yeah.
Make it a comment.
Right.
Make it look like people are engaging with my stuff, please. Don't
You're
just
too
send
busy.
it directly to me.
I can't read every DM, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it to the crowd.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll see it there. Guys,
Exactly.
I see it there too.
Yes.
I will even, sometimes if someone DMs me like, this was a great episode, I love this guest, and I'm like, can I ask you a favor? Could you leave this as a comment? I'll even do that. I'm like, let's get this on the grid.
Right. Exactamundo.
All right. Do you happen to have a hey, go fuck yourself? Would you like to tell anyone to fuck themselves?
Oh, hey, go fuck yourself. That's interesting. There are so many things that bug me. It's the mainstay of most comedians that something bugs you. It's very small,
That works well.
but I don't think it's the level of go fuck yourself. But
I mean, small is good though.
okay,
Yeah.
but it bothers me. When my son and my wife put half-opened soda cans back in the fridge, I want to scream. Because here's the thing, and you listen up out there too. Nobody ever drinks it again.
This is so true.
Nobody's going to. Take your half soda and throw the rest down the sink. It's okay. And what bugs me about it is they're not very economical about any other thing. But that soda, that Diet Coke's got to go back in the fridge, taking up room. Crowding my cottage cheese for my daily weigh-in. So stop it. Tony agrees. Really agrees.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
The other thing is, the half-opened can, my thing is always like, I'm going to put a Tupperware of something in here and the corner is going to catch on it and it's going to spill.
Yes,
That's my
and
concern
that's
with
happened,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why now it's getting to the level of go fuck yourself.
Right. You just didn't realize how you felt about it.
I didn't.
Oh,
They taste terrible too.
Yeah.
You try to go back to
Right,
it.
it's lost its fizz.
Yeah, no good.
What's a soda without fizz? Come on.
I mean, I'll just leave it out and I will go back to it. But if I refrigerate it, I won't go back to it. But I'm a weirdo who doesn't love cold soda.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is strange.
I am
Yeah.
in that regard.
Now I'm saying, Allison, go fuck yourself.
Oh my God.
Drink
Hey,
a cold
Allison.
soda.
Hey,
Drink it.
go fuck yourself.
The one time I got burned on that, though, was many years ago. I was on an airplane and I asked for a soda with no ice and it was warm. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't judge this correctly.
But if it's a cold soda, you will have it without ice.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Look, to each his own.
No, even if it's room temperature, I'll have it without ice.
Oh.
But if it's got like a bit of warmth to it, then
Yeah.
no, thank you.
How are you with hot beverages? Does it have to be hot to drink or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. Interesting.
Are you someone who like nukes your coffee over and over again?
Coffee's got to be hot.
Got
No, I don't. People that
Oh,
drink it during the day. Now that I think about it, that's another go fuck
yeah.
yourself.
You mean so someone who like has their Starbucks all day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink it, throw it out. And there's the other soda can that was left in the fridge, joining it.
Right. Tony.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
So you're like hot coffee, drink it quickly.
I drink my coffee. I'm very particular about my coffee. I make my coffee. I drink it usually with my wife. That's our little together time in the morning. And that's it. Because also, as you get older, the caffeine does not work well.
What kind of coffee do you make?
I make, here's the thing. It's powerful. You'll understand why I only have one cup. You know those espresso makers that you see where you, it's kind of two parts and you twist the top on? Mm-hmm. A lot of people have a little one. I make a whole pot of that espresso.
You don't mean French press though. It's an espresso maker.
It's espresso maker.
Okay.
Yeah. And I make a whole pot of it. And then I put sugar in my coffee because I don't use artificial sweetener, if that's interesting to anybody. And
I mean, to me it is because I am 90% artificial sweetener.
Really?
I use you're giving me a judgmental look. Do you think it's unhealthy?
Because I'll tell you what happened that made me stop.
Okay.
I did this show. I worked on a show called Better Late Than Never, where NBC show. We traveled with Henry Winkler, George Foreman. We went away for 6 weeks, Asia, Europe. I started to put my equal together. I had 2 in my coffee, 1 in my yogurt, 1 later in the day. And I knew going to foreign countries, who knows if...
Right. They're not going to have equal.
Allison, the equal stacked up in that Ziploc bag. Like all of a sudden I saw, oh my God, I'm ingesting all this artificial sweetener every day. So I just stopped using it. And now I'll have a regular Coke here and there, cold, which maybe you're giving me a judgmental look that it's cold.
That's weird.
That's why I stopped. So I put sugar in my coffee. I put some Silk.
Almond milk? Soy milk.
Silk creamer.
Okay.
They have a special creamer. And that's what I have.
Can you get it sweet enough with regular sugar? I just don't think I can.
Oh,
I mean, I
easy.
could, but
yeah. I
like
buy
it very artificially
on
sweet.
Amazon this great sugar cubes. And I put that in my coffee. I'm so fascinated. I hope this is fascinating to your listeners.
I'm fascinated.
I'm fascinated by what people drink and eat.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah, I have it. We didn't do it today, but I have a segment called Snack Chat where we taste things. Yeah.
Yes. Because if I talk to a stranger at a party, I would just love to skip the small talk and go, tell me what you ate today. Yeah. And I'm fascinated. Fascinated.
What is something that if it's on the menu, you're going to order it?
I'd have to say onion rings.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, you can't get them that much. I'm not a fast food eater. Like we just went to Musso and Frank for my son's graduation dinner.
I'm sorry, I'm giving you a look because we just had a guest who went to Musso and Frank.
Wow.
Josh Gondelman.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew
he and
I
his
knew it
wife
came
had
up
just,
recently.
like it
I
literally
can't
just
remember.
came up
Oh,
on,
yeah, that's right. That's
on one of the
right.
most recent
Yes.
episodes.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a special place.
Right.
And I love things with Hollywood history like that. I had gone there a few weeks before, actually with some friends after Richard Lewis's memorial, which was beautiful. And we had the onion rings, and my friend and I looked at each other and we said, been around a long time. These are the best onion rings I've ever had. Musso and Frank, you're doing something right.
A ringing endorsement. Now, are you dipping them in something?
Well, maybe my wife got me into ranch dressing for fries and stuff like that. I might do that, but you take a chance. They served it with blue cheese dressing,
Oh, that
which
sounds
is pretty good.
Yeah.
It was. Is there something on the menu you can't resist?
Trying to think like what I'm usually drawn to. Well, it's not necessarily on a menu, but if it were on a menu, if there was angel food cake.
Oh, yes.
There's not enough angel food cake in
No,
my
there
life.
isn't.
Yeah.
And the store bought one, you're not going to have. It's not good.
No.
So a place that has,
Yeah.
and then
I
what
would-
do you put on top of it?
I mean, so I don't love chocolate flavor. I feel like chocolate drowns out the flavor of something else. So I'm not going to have chocolate on my angel food is what I'm not going to have.
Okay.
Maybe
I wouldn't
like,
think that either. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of depends what they're going to serve with it. Maybe like strawberries or something like that.
Right. Or whipped cream, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh.
Or like would you put a creme anglaise on angel food cake? If so, I would go for that. Like some kind of cream based
Yeah.
sauce that has a lot of fat in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of the opposite of angel food cake.
Getting
But
me
yeah.
hungry.
Yeah. Also, my favorite food when I was a kid and I was a chunky kid was fettuccine Alfredo. And it has been years since I've ordered that, but I feel like I could definitely go for that.
Yeah. And when it's good at a restaurant, you can't miss it.
Right.
You have to eat the whole thing.
You have to. Otherwise, they take you out back and shoot you. It's a little known fact.
I might skip that next day in weighing myself. And I have done that. I should say it's not every day, but
Right.
it's worth it.
Yeah. Okay. And then lastly, Podcast Pals product picks.
Podcast Pals product picks.
All right. What is yours?
Well, I've been drinking this for a long time. There is a green tea called Oi Ocha. I think I'm saying it the right way. Now, Otani, the Dodger, endorses it. But when I look at that, I kind of get a little miffed, like, oh, I was way into this before Otani. I've just heard that green tea is good for you. And I like it icy cold. And
Okay. Weird.
it's very good. I will tell people that at the beginning, I drank it mixed with some pomegranate juice because it takes some getting used to. But now I'm all in. And the caffeine is nice. Got to do it earlier in the day, in the afternoon, because you'll be up if you have it late. But I get it on Amazon, ordered, and it's fantastic.
All right.
Of course, I would choose something food or drink wise.
I will be featuring that in my Amazon shop, amazon.com/shop/Allison Rosen. And if you go there, you'll see Podcast Pals product picks, and you can see all the picks from tons of podcast luminaries who have been on the show. So please check that out. There's also other fun stuff to look at over there. I'm on Patreon. Patreon. Oh, Patreon?
Yeah.
It's where creators your Patreon, it's like extra, there's subscribers, there's different subscription levels.
Okay.
And then you give them extra content.
Oh.
So I have another podcast, which is the Friend Zone, which is sort of like the Patreon version of this one. So, and then also there's a level where people can text me and I'll text them back, and I send a daily text update that is very juicy of late.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then also I'm on Substack. AllisonRosen.substack.com. Carol, where can people find you and where can they get your book?
They can find me at carolleifer.com. My book sold out on Amazon.
That's so awesome.
Yes, but guess what? It just got back in stock 2 days ago. So obviously there's a demand for it and people are liking it. It's gotten a lot of nice reviews. So you can get it on Amazon, and it came back. It was sold out on Barnes & Noble, and it's back on Barnes & Noble.
Awesome. Tony, what about you?
There's a new Motion City soundtrack single called She's Afraid. That's available anywhere you get music. And a new record coming out September 19th called, let's see if I can say it without mumbling, The Same Old Wasted Wonderful World.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Note the alliteration. Carol, thank you so much for joining us.
Super fun.
This was amazing. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show? We had a good time